Yes, Nithyananda. Welcoming back all the viewers and participants to this beautiful segment of the glimpses of the glorious past on the 4th of April. In this segment, we will be seeing about how throughout the years the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's Leela and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been continuously contributing and elevating the level of consciousness of humanity and bestowing this beautiful science of enlightenment and power manifestation and guiding humanity to the next level of existence. So let's begin with the 4th of April 2004. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism spoke to the delegates of the Ananda Spurna about the science of third eye. The secret chakra that resides between our eyebrows directly connects us with the divine, and when opened, is the direct portal through which we can manifest anything we want with our willpower. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains that when this chakra is not opened, we spend 80% of our time day and night dreaming and 20% creating. Once awakened, the opposite happens, and we become masters of our own destiny. We also come down from the mental and the logical plane and tune in with our intuition. By switching from head to heart, we become intelligent in a divinely guided way and we stop following intellect. So, this is the beautiful satsang and revelations that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shared on the Agnya Chakra, the third eye. Let us now see a small excerpt from that satsang.
Centro de energia que se situa entre as sobrancelhas.
Anya means willpower.
Anya significa força de vontade. O que você deseja se torna realidade.
Energy.
Isso cria uma energia mística tremenda.
This can make you master your dreams and your visions.
Isso pode fazer você dominar os seus sonhos e visões.
As on now, your 80% of energy is spent only in dreaming, only 20% is spent in creating.
Agora, 80% das suas energias são gastas em sonhar e somente 20% em criar.
80% is spent in daydreaming and night dreaming.
80% é gasto em sonhar acordado e sonhar à noite.
Only 20% is spent in creating.
Somente 20% é gasto em criar.
If this chakra is awakened, 80% will be spent in creating, only 20% will be spent in dreaming and.
Se você acorda esse chakra, 80% da sua energia vai ser gasta em criar e somente 20% em sonhar.
So, 80% of your energy will be put to use when this chakra is awakened.
Então, 80% da sua energia vai ser colocada em uso quando esse chakra acorda.
This chakra creates tremendous creativity and power in you.
Esse chakra cria um poder, uma criatividade tremenda em você.
If all other
Yes, that was just an excerpt. And we will now be moving on to the next year, which is the 4th of April 2007. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism compared the knowledge to a knife that can get dangerous in the hands of a terrorist or it can heal in the hands of a doctor. Given this, what is the secret behind the Shiva Sutra where Shiva opens all techniques to everybody without any prerequisites? The people who listen to the sutras understand this from their level of the consciousness. As their continuous growth new meanings emerge from the sutras, thereby eliminating the danger of this knowledge being misused by anybody. So let us now see a beautiful excerpt from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the Shiva Sutras.
should be given only to a qualified person who really seeks for it, who really wants it. Even in Katopanishad, Yama says, Yamadharma wants Nachiketa, his disciple, this knowledge cannot be given to a person who is not sincere. If it is given to a person who is not sincere, the person who is giving, his head will burst, he will die. Only after thoroughly checking the sincerity of a disciple, this knowledge should be transmitted, this knowledge should be shared. Here, Mahadeva, Anandeshwara is not putting any condition. He is straight away opening up all the techniques, much more stronger and deeper than Katopanishad. You may think then people may not misuse these techniques. The possibility to misuse this knowledge exists. Understand? Just yesterday I was talking to you about those Tibetan masters who can pierce the body, penetrate it with a wooden piece without bleeding, or who can take you beyond the ordinary programming, the engraved memories. See, this knowledge is very dangerous if it is caught in the wrong hands. Just imagine if this knowledge is given to a person who wants to enslave people, who is interested in power. It is dangerous. He can misuse it. He can just put you all inside the bell and give the suggestions. You will follow only my words. Dangerous. This knowledge is such, it's like a knife. If it is in the hands of a doctor, it will save lives. If it is in the hands of a terrorist, it will kill. You can use this knowledge for killing or healing. The knowledge is very dangerous if it is caught in the hands of wrong persons. People who are not matured enough, if they receive these great powers, this knowledge, dangerous for humanity. That is why, before the knowledge is transmitted, always the disciple is asked to practice the basic morality like love, respecting others, ahimsa, non-violence, satya, truthfulness. All these things are put as a basic requirement so that you won't be a dangerous person once you achieve these great powers. You will not be a danger to the humanity. Mahadeva opens here all the sutras. One important thing you should know, Shiva Sutra does not have any prerequisite, any morality, no yama, no niyama. Means the moral prerequisites. Patanjali speaks about moral prerequisites. Yama, niyama, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. He gives so many conditions. Practice this, then get all the powers. Only then he even talks about techniques to achieve extraordinary powers. Here, Anandeshwara is not talking about any yama niyama. Straight away he is opening with the technique. The first sutra is Devi's questions. The moment Devi finished the questions, Shiva is answering. Mahadeva is speaking. He is straight away opening the techniques. Naturally people will think there is a danger of this knowledge being misused. The Bhashyakara, commentator writes, no, because the sutras are written such a way, only if you are qualified, if you are pure enough, you will be able to understand. The level in which, the plane in which, the conscious level in which you are staying, only to that extent you will be able to relate with the sutra, only that much you will understand. The same line will give new meaning, new understanding if you grow. Sometimes people come and tell me, Swamiji, 2 years ago I heard your lecture, but that time I didn't understand much. Somehow I started meditating. Now, if I hear the same discourses, if I read the same books, I understand so much. I feel, how did I miss? How I couldn't understand all these things in those days, that time. I tell them, you understand new things, you understand things in a matured way because you have become matured. If you grow, the ability to learn from the same books also will grow. The same lines will teach you new things. The same words will awaken new energy in you, because
Yes. So if you would like to continue watching this beautiful video, you can log on to the official YouTube channel of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and type in knowledge, the double-edged sword, and you will get this video, which was on the 4th of April 2007. We are now moving on to the 4th of April 2010. Kailasa's Department of Information Broadcasting, in collaboration with Kailasa, Uniting Nations for Peacekeeping, aimed at eradicating violence and promoting peace, telecasted a video on the cosmic principles of Jivan Mukti as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In this talk entitled Nithyananda Discourse Series, The Secret of Birth, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded that knowing the how, when, where, and why we were born is important to living life in tune with the purpose of our birth. He explained what we call as death, birth, and death are actually only incidents in our lives, and what we think as birth happens within the three kshana of our mothers delivering us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism went on to explain that because two souls cannot live in the same body, our physiology lives as an extension of the mother, and the soul does not enter the body until after delivery. In contrast, what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism thinks as our birth begins long before we land on planet Earth. We exist eternally, he said. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded that when we don't understand the purpose of our birth, we live out of tune with that purpose and we reincarnate repeatedly, which comes with suffering. Let us now take a few moments to watch this beautiful discourse.
Dear one and all, I welcome you all with my love and respects. Let us start understanding different components and dimensions of Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment. First, today we will understand the concept of birth. You may think, why we need to know about birth to live enlightenment? Because birth is over. It has already happened. What is the use of knowing about birth to live enlightenment? Please understand, knowing about birth will reveal great truths to you about your life. Knowledge about the starting point is very important for your travel. How you started, why you started, where you started, when you started, what for you started will really help you to tune yourself to that original truth in your life. If your life is in tune with the purpose of your birth, you are living enlightenment. Please understand. If your life is in tune with the purpose of your birth, you are living enlightenment. A person who is in tune with the purpose of his birth is Jivan Mukta. So knowing the secrets of birth is a very important thing we need to do to be a Jivan Mukta, to live enlightenment, to radiate enlightenment. First thing, you need to know the secrets, how the birth happens. Please understand. Ordinary human beings think the moment they come out of their mother's womb, they are born. Some people say, no, the moment they are conceived, they are born. Or some say, the moment the outer fresh air, the world is felt, they are born. There are so many theories. Please understand, the truth is, you are born before even the idea of landing on the planet Earth happens. See, your birth, what you think as birth, is only one incident in your whole life. I am trying to express some of the strong, intense truths to you. Birth, what you think as birth, is not the beginning. What you think as death is not end. Please understand, in the whole life, it is one part. What you think as birth is only one incident. What you think as death is only one incident. You need to understand with a little clarity about the whole life. Only then you can look into the idea of this birth and this death. Only then you will understand the purpose of this birth. If you think this birth, taking the body which you are having now, is the beginning, then you cannot know the purpose. You cannot know the purpose. We need to understand, we are repeating the same thing again and again and again. Only then we can stop repeating. Please understand. Unless you know you are repeating, you will not have the intelligence to stop repeating. Small story. In a bar, one guy meets the other guy and says, "What's your name?" That guy says, "Smith." This guy says, "Oh, I am also Smith. Where are you living?" This guy says, "Just down the street." This guy says, yes, I am also living there. Which floor? Second house, third floor. This guy says, what? Believe me, I am also living. That's same house, same floor. Bartender, looking at this conversation, turns to us other client, other customer, and says, oh God, this is the same thing happening every Saturday. These fellows are father and son. What to do? Please understand, we are repeating unconsciously same thing again and again and again because we are in unconsciousness. Our birth and our death is just like this story. The father Smith and son Smith talking to each other every Saturday. That is what our birth and our death. First thing you need to understand about birth is we are repeating it again and again and again. First. Second, why are we repeating it again and again and again? Because after the birth, before the death, we forget why we are born. We fall into unconsciousness. If we know the purpose of birth, from birth to death, we will not be repeating the same thing again and again and again. Man who forgets the purpose of his birth, between his birth and death, is an ordinary man, unconscious man. Person who very clearly remembers the purpose of his birth, from his birth to death, is a Jivan Mukta. A person who lives this life at least once, very clearly, knowing the purpose, in tune with the purpose, if he takes birth again and again, even if he takes birth, is called incarnation, Avatara Purusha. So, knowing the purpose of birth and secrets of birth plays a major role in living enlightenment, Jivan Mukti. In the
Yes, we are now moving on to the 4th of April 2011. On that day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded on the 143rd Sutra, 3rd chapter, 37th verse of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, in which Patanjali gave a technique to straightaway awaken our spiritual powers. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared that teleportation of Vibhuti and all happens when the mediums are ready to receive, but explained that before that happens, he has to work with every receiver to upgrade them, remove all their virus, and make them compatible with the high-speed internet connection. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed that it is very easy to send to Padukas because they don't have logic. It is just matter which is especially energized. It is simply like his representative. It is very easy, but for a person who has logic, whole logic has to be purified. So here the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is revealing the science of the power manifestation from the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Let us take a beautiful look at the satsang that he gave.
Simply like my representative. My representative is there and it's very easy. But to a person who has a logic, sending it will be little, means his whole logic has to be purified and made to receptive. That's why it takes a little time. But I have decided before this Guru Purnima, July 25th, at least 25 people will be initiated into receiving or the teleported materials like a Vibhuti or Lingam or any material. And July 25th, Guru Purnima, we will have a public demonstration to the media on the science of teleportation. We will have a full-fledged public demonstration. That's why it takes to the international media. I have decided before under the controlled conditions. At least all the people who are going to receive Vibhuti will be monitored by scientists, and person who is going to send me, I also will be monitored by the scientists, and we will prove it scientifically, the science of teleportation. And not only that, I will make this science available to the world as a clear curriculum, as a syllabus. Like now, I have made the levitation as a clear science curriculum. I can assure anybody comes and sits in the inner awakening for 21 days will levitate, guarantee. This time onwards you will see it's a guaranteed experience. It is not like a you may not know. We have mastered the science. We have mastered the science of reproducing that experience. Not only few people can experience, anybody who sits the 21 days, goes through, will experience levitation. We have mastered the science. Same way, I'll make this, I think by December inner awakening, I'll make this teleporting as a clear science which anybody will be able to receive it. Anybody will be able to receive it. And already I am training some 15-20 of the ashramites. I am sitting with them, training them not only to receive and teleport, even to send. Even to send. I just wanted some yogis, some at least few thousand yogis, to learn this science in a very systematic way and share it with the world. And it is all just to inspire you, make you have Shraddha for Shastra Pramana. Understand? I wanted all of you to know, especially people who receive Vibhuti in their hands or in their house Padakas, or who are part of this teleporting science or who are experiencing levitation. Do not allow this to lead to ego. No. Don't allow this to expand or make you arrogant, expand your ego or make you arrogant. Then it becomes like a elephant goes to take bath in the river, but finally that fool gets into some mud and dumps the mud on his own head and comes out more dirty. Then he went inside the water. He went inside the water to clean himself, but finally instead of pouring water on his head, he poured sludge and dust on his head and came out. Don't become like that. Be very clear. Do not use your spiritual experiences to improve your or to expand your ego. No. Talk always about your spiritual experiences with a lot of humbleness and respect to that experience and the transformation it created on you. Understand? Share this with the world to tell, because of this Vibhuti materializing in your hand, you have more Shraddha, more sincerity to the Shastra Pramana and Apta Pramana.
Yes, that was the beautiful satsang that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And we will now be moving on to the next year, which is the 4th of April, 2012. On this day's presidential address, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism demonstrated how to integrate our short-term productivity with our long-term creativity. The two are unified by our inner attitude. When we understand that every action is opportunity to enhance the lives of others and thereby also raise our own integrity, we spontaneously move towards increasing our excellence in every task. We become completely honest in our work because perfection is our natural inclination. Once all our work is infused with this principle of expansion, the long-term results likewise reflect our authentic creativity. Below we can see the pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism from the Nithyananda Satsang. Let us now see a beautiful Satsang, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is explaining about living without food.
Just to get cured. Siddha, allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda, anipathy. Just give something, they will get healed. That 40% placebo effect people are waiting to get cured. I tell you, if you can be healed by the placebo medicine, you are a yogi, yet to be discovered by you. I tell you, there is a huge possibility sitting in your biomemory. You are a yogi, yet to be discovered by you. It's a huge possibility. Even if you feel connected to these great truths, immediately those powers will start opening up in you. I am talking about this esoteric evening, every day, esoteric truths, for two reasons. One, to help that 40% of people. Second, if you again and again hear about different esoteric powers and extraordinary powers, some power which is in you will open up. See, now I am talking about living without food. For 40% of people, this power itself will open up. There are other 50% of people on whom suddenly some new power will open up. They will be able to drive their bicycle without holding the hands. You may think how that is connected to eating without food. You don't know. When some esoteric powers, great truths about the esoteric powers enter into your biomemory. If you are convinced about some powers, some other powers which is there closer to your biomemory will wake up. So with this esoteric evening series, I will be waking up many of the different mystical powers many of our disciples have. Understand one more thing? If you are feeling connected to me, you are a yogi, you are going to have enlightenment with all spices, Ashtama Siddhis, and extraordinary powers. It is juicy, spicy, there is no brand. I think we will have to create our own Nithyananda brand. Where not only you are going to express enlightenment, you are going to express continuously extraordinary powers and expressions, energies. I tell you, if you are feeling connected to me, be very clear. You are a yogi who is going to express the enlightenment with all its spice. Only that kind of biomemory people will have even feeling connection with me. This esoteric evening series, even listening, understand. One more thing, when I show all these extraordinary masters and great truths, I am also programming your inner space to it. You are seeing in my space. Beyond your mind, your biomemory starts believing. Just today, one disciple complained to me that she has been hurt. And I challenged, I'll see to it you are healed. You try to hold on to your hurt, I'll heal. Come on, let's see. Because I know our biomemory listens to me more than her. It is beyond our control. Her biomemory simply listens to whatever I am saying. Because our biomemory has a deeper trust and faith, feeling connection than ourself. Same way, when you are sitting in my presence and seeing all these great truths, simply it gets into your biomemory. You may be getting the information about levitation in this esoteric evening. More than 40% will have that experience as the levitation itself. There is another 50% which will have some other power suddenly awakened. They will be able to stand on their just one hand. They will be just able to do Sirasasana. You may think, how come that power, this? It is possible. Esoteric powers are nothing but tuning your body to new energies, different channels, that's all.
Yes, that was a beautiful satsang where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed on the various power manifestations and the satsangs of the esoteric evenings. We are now moving on to the 4th of April 2013. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave a new definition of responsibility. When we realize that we are the source of everything, each of us is God. We understand that we are responsible for everything. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared that whatever is going on in the world, if it has any effect on us, we are responsible for it. Even for events over which we may think we have no control. The concept of blaming others or of finding an excuse for not accomplishing our goals ceases to exist. We discover how to be leaders. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained that responsibility is the spiritual DNA for leadership, gifting us with the understanding to resolve problems far beyond what we felt we could cope with before. Later that day, the Raj TV representatives came to offer their respects and love to Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for all his contributions on upholding the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Let us now see a beautiful oneness capsule of the 4th of April 2013.
எழுந்தவனே நித்ய அருணாச்சல சிவனே.
Yes, we will now be moving on to the 4th of April 2014. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, shared an interesting fact about Advaita. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained that our hormones are programmed to experience non-duality. Biologically, we experience Advaita during the milestones of our life, such as moving from childhood to adulthood and during death. But when we work directly with an enlightened master, he can move us to experience Advaita in the physiological and conscious space to enjoy in our lives now. Living in harmony with others is the first step. We can practice it today, but remembering that everyone is part of us. Later that day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism visited the Ganga Mata and passed through the worldwide known cremation grounds of the Manikarnika Ghat, from where the fortunate and blessed souls get to attain their moksha. We'll now move on to the year of 2015. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Nitya Dhyana Yoga Day 1. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained that we don't have just one identity as we imagine. We have four identities. At all times, we carry four identities together. The first of these four identities is Mamakara, or inner image. It is the inner image and experience we carry about ourselves. The second identity is Ahankara, or outer image. It is how we project ourselves to others. We may try to project ourselves as powerful, talented, honest, helpful, or whatever. Unfortunately, what we project is always far more than what we believe ourselves to be. Third identity is others' image of us, which is the image or expectations that others have about you. This is called Anyakara, or others' image about us. The fourth identity is the life image. It is called Swanyakara, or life image. Life image is what we experience life to be for us. For example, we may feel life is lonely, or life is complicated, or life is scared, or life is scary, or life is always showering me with everything I need. This is also our identity because it defines the exact experience we will be receiving from the people and situations in our life. So here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism directly sharing about the four images that we carry about life. We are now moving on to the year 2016. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the day 21 of the Inner Awakening Convention. As this was the last day of the convention, the delegates got to participate in the glimpses of my inner awakening and share all their breakthroughs and clicks they got throughout the convention. Additionally, the delegates got to receive the 21 temple prasadams that were brought especially for their benefit and enriching the celebratory aspect of the Hindu temple-based lifestyle. Additionally, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave a darshan for all the delegates of the IA convention and for all the Adinavasis as well, where they got to receive all the boons and blessings they needed in order to have the necessary breakthroughs for their internal and external advancement. So here we can see the pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism giving the darshan and also the delegates sharing their experience of the Inner Awakening program. We are now moving on to the 4th of April 2017. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Nithyananda Convention. As part of this convention, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiated hundreds of new students into Nithyananda Gurukul and gave them energy darshan and an initiation into manifesting powers. Additionally, Many of the Nityananda Convention delegates received the sacred thread, Yajñopavitam, after they had been orated the sacred Hindu vows and got the initiation into the Gayatri Mantra by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. Below we can see pictures of the convention going on and also the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiating the delegates into the Gayatri initiation. Let us now see a short video of the Nityananda times on that auspicious day.
At the 2nd of April, the 10-day Nityananda program for children started in Bengaluru Adinam, a revolutionary program for kids and youth to manifest extraordinary powers and express them in day-to-day life.
How is that you feel or you express when you are able to see with your third eye? Is it black and white in color or it just appears in air? Exactly like how we see with both our eyes, the same way we see through our third eye also.
For instance, master mathematics in 10 days, read blindfolded with the third eye and have awakened intuition. They learn also to scan the human body and remote places and download textbooks through the third eye and retrieve information through awakened memory. The power gives them not only extraordinary capabilities, but also a lot of confidence and overall strength to manifest what they want in life and be blissful.
Nityananda, this is Jaina Tang from Singapore. I'm with two wonderful balasans here, Jnana Tattva and Loka Prima. What happened is today we are practicing length, breadth and depth dimension. Right now we're at a depth dimension manifestation. So I gave them a breadth dimension manifestation. I gave them a picture which looks like this. It's a dance movement with a ballerina, like a male ballerina that dances really curvy when it's on the jump. So I didn't show them the picture, they actually drew it accurately. Look at this. The curve is correct. Both of them get it right. And for Jnana Tattva, he actually asked, what's the color of the top? Is it a light red or what kind of red is it? So I said, you just color it. Don't have to really check with me. So he looked at the Krishna Sila and he got the shades correct. Darker red and light pink on the top, which is, he used it as a lighter red. And for Loka Prima, he got it all red, but it's good. Look at the spiky hair. This guy almost has spiky hair on the run. So they did it perfectly.
जटाटवीकलज्जल प्रवाह पावितस्थले गलेवलम्ब्य लम्बिताम्भुजङ्गतुङ्गमालिकां डमड्डमड्डमड्डमन्निनादवड्डमर्वयं चकार चण्डताण्डवं तनोतु नः शिव शिवं जटाकटाः सम्भ्रम भ्रमन्निलिम्प निर्झरी विलोलवीचिवल्लरी विराजमानमूर्धनि धगद्धगद्धगज्ज्वलल्ललाटपट्टपावके किशोरचन्द्रशेखरे रतिप्रतिक्षणं मम शिवं 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 ॐ शिवं शिवं शिवम्
Sadashiva Sena is a group Adinavasis and disciples of Paramahamsa Nityananda touring around the world to share the bliss and support the growth of Nityananda Sangha. This weekend they made a very special visit to Yogi Shiva Shankar Baba. They demonstrated powers like body scanning and answered questions about the third eye from his devotees. Sadashiva Sena got a grand tour around the campus, visiting the Durga temple, the main deity Balaji, and the roof of the main temple, which is replicating Tirupati Venkatachala's diamond crown. Also on campus are temples for Rama, Krishna and Ganesha.
Yes, we are now moving on to the 4th of April 2018. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the day 4 of the most awaited Mahasadashivoham Convention at the Bengaluru Adhinam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blessed delegates of the Mahasadashivoham program with breakthroughs and revealed the core purpose of the convention, which was to remove the concept of impossibility from the depth dimension and to be established in the space of Nityananda. Delegates further experienced the Nityananda Yoga as it was directly revealed by Sadashiva. Around the world, several sevas, as well as Nityananda Gurukul, Nityananda Yoga, and temple gatherings to enrich local communities and the world took place. Announcements were made of upcoming programs such as the Inner Awakening, Nityananda Yoga Training, NDY, NKY, and various other programs for the upliftment of humanity. Let us now move on to the 4th of April 2020. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the day 16 of the Paramashivoham Level 2 Convention. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed the groundbreaking, best kept secrets about himself. Thus, if you understand how I exist for me, you will experience me absolutely now. Delegates offered Pratyakshapada Puja and Shiva Puja. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism worked further on raising the consciousness of the delegates by bestowing them with the Paramashivoham darshan for the day, contributing to over 108 humanitarian causes of Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University marks that day as Season 1, Day 16 of Paramashivoham. One of the major highlights of Kailasa's contributions through this convention is power manifestation, and that day was the power of the third eye. Sannyasis of the Nityananda order of monks and initiated acharyas worldwide affiliated with the Department of Education of Kailasa conducted a series of seminars focusing on the tyaga, the ferociousness, the compassion, the motherliness, the patience, hard work, and other divine attributes of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, inspiring millions towards the science of Hinduism. We are now moving on to the 4th of April 2021. On this day, the ambassadors and delegates of the Kailasa nation received the Shaktipada and Shaktinipada with the live darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blessed all the delegates with the most auspicious and the most sought after Bhava Samadhi darshan of Mahakala Bhairava. And here we can see the picture of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the Bhava Samadhi darshan of Kala Bhairava. So with that, we come to the end of this beautiful segment of the glimpses of the glorious past. And we thank each and every one of you who have joined us in this beautiful segment. And we will now be receiving the live satsang of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And let's all sit straight and get ready to receive the sacred truths.
Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Listen. The existence of the super consciousness consciously, powerfully reflecting into your conscious existence and your conscious existence recognizing your possibilities and powers of your superconscious existence is superconscious mutation. I wanted to make it very clear. This word mutants is misunderstood all over the world, especially the Hollywood movies and TV serials. The way they project the idea mutants, that is not the way Hinduism reveals about the conscious mutation. Please understand. The Hollywood movies and TV serials, what they talk about mutants is people with extra power, but not enlightenment or the intelligence, compassion to handle the power, compassion to handle the responsibility. It is more like a unconscious mutants from the lower worlds. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Patala. The lower worlds. That concept only is presented in Hollywood movies and TV series like a Heroes, a New Heroes TV series. All these presents almost kind of a frightening depiction about the mutants. Completely forget about that. Understand what Hindu Shastras, Hindu scriptures, Vedas and Agamas, Puranas talk about superconscious mutation. From the vertical time zone, the higher conscious beings, people who achieved superconsciousness, those beings, their superconsciousness, when that reflects in your individual conscious existence, you start manifesting great enlightenment, intelligence, compassion, highest order of human values and divine qualities. With those jnana, buddhi, higher values, you start manifesting powers, extraordinary shaktis. Please understand. In India, even 200 years before, this was a lifestyle. Every village will have few Shatavadanis. Shatavadani means a person who can perform 100 acts at a time. Please understand. Great Vedic scholars in Hindu tradition developed these powers possibilities through the superconscious mutation. Through this superconscious mutation, they could perform 100 acts at a time, because all their non-mechanical parts of the brain was awakened through this superconscious mutation process. I want all of you to know elaborately our Hindu scriptures, history, books have documented. Puranas are not mythology or myth, it's a history. They have documented these superconscious mutants, people who had the superconscious mutation experience. The Panchapandavas' birth itself is a superconscious mutation. Kundi received the power to make the superconscious beings give their DNA and give birth to kids through their DNA. She brought Surya's DNA with the blessing of Surya. That superconscious mutant is Karana. Till the end, his great value, the greatest value of Surya is just giving radiance is his very nature. Anything Karna had, he just gave. The quality of giving, radiating, could never be removed from Karna because he is from the DNA of Surya, the greatest giver, Bhaskara, radiating. He gave his very life. He is the extraordinary giver. And Kundi brought the DNA of Yamadharma Raja, Yama, who is the Lord of natural law, Dharma, and gave birth to a child in the same signs of superconscious mutation. Till the end, Dharma, Yudhishthira, never violates Dharma. The way he upheld Dharma is unimaginable. It's because superconscious mutation. Then comes Bhima. It's a superconscious being, Vayu. His DNA was brought, and Vayu's very DNA, superconscious mutation has been done, and Bhima was born. The power Bhima radiated, the power of Vayu Bhagavan, the power Bhima radiated is unimaginable. Arjuna is a superconscious mutant of Indra. Then Nahula and Sahadeva, they are the superconscious mutants of Ashwini Kumaras. These great beings are all superconscious mutants. Understand, our idihasas, Puranas elaborately document these superconscious mutation and the signs of superconscious mutation. There's an elaborate description of the 7 enlightenment cities, Kashi, Kanchi, Madura, all these 7, Mayapuri, all these 7 enlightenment cities each having the population of 10,000 Sahasravatanis, 1 lakh Shadavatanis. Sahasravatani means who can perform 1,000 action at a time. Sadavatani means who can perform 100 action at a time. Please understand, what I am talking is not story. Even as recently as now, there are documentation in Mohal's court where they start awarding Shatavadanis. In front of the court, people performed this 100 acts at a time. Forget all of that. Even now, in Andhra, the Telugu Brahmins community, they are keeping this tradition of avatanis alive. The living stream is not dead. It is there still. It's there. Shodasavadanis, Ashtavadanis, still the tradition is there. In Andhra, the Telugu Brahmins tradition, and even the Telugu Brahmins who came and settled in the banks of Kaveri in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. All the 3, Godavari, Karnataka, Kaveri in Karnataka, Kaveri in the Tamil Nadu. In all 3 places, the Telugu Brahmins who came and settled are still keeping these Avadani traditions alive. Actually, there's an elaborate description how these rivers were energized with the superconscious energy for these Avadani traditions to be kept alive. The Ganga was used for Sahasravatana, Sahasravatanis, people who can perform 1,000 acts. They settled in Kashmir and Kashi. Then the next level, people who can perform little less than 1,000, but around 900. They settled in Yamuna. And you need to know, after the Ganga and Yamuna, people who can perform above 500, but less than 900. That group settled near Godavari. That is why when we describe the rivers and worship, Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. Saraswati does not come third, Godavari comes third. Then comes Saraswati. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. It was different settlement of different Avadanis. There's an elaborate description of how these Avadanis are trained and how this science was kept alive. Avadani's training is one of the aspects of superconscious mutation. More than Avadanis, Another important aspect of superconscious mutation is ability to use the astras. Ability to use the different organs, senses,